I'm Doug Wilcoxson with Bomark Sportswear. Now that you've decided to pursue the team and league business, we want to discuss a couple more headaches that come with this business and how to avoid those headaches. One of the first things is you have to know the limitations of your logo size and your imprint area on the particular garment that you're looking at decorating. For instance, there are two different ways to put a sleeve into a garment. This is what they call a set sleeve. It's just a round stitch and the sleeve is just set into the shoulder. But very popular in the athletic market is going to be something that's referred to as raglan cut. And raglan cut is just a panel that's sewn in on an angle. The reason that that's so popular in the athletic market is that years ago somebody decided that if you had on a raglan cut garment, you had much more range of motion. I'm not sure if that's true, but it's stuck and it's been a big part of this market ever since. The reason it's important to you is because if I'm wearing a raglan cut garment and you're trying to do a full chest, I just cut your decoration area in half, okay? This is why in the athletic market you'll see so many logos that are going to have an arch to them, like Kentucky Wildcats with a Wildcat head in the center. The reason is if my team name is Buccaneers and I'm trying to do just a straight across the chest, there's no way, because I'm gonna go over the seams. But if my team name is Buccaneers and I want to go at an arch, it works great because it fits right in under the raglan cut. That's why you'll see so many designs that are going to have an arch to them in the athletic market. Another challenging garment in the team and league industry is the full button placket. Now, is it impossible to decorate across the placket of a full button placket? Well, obviously it's not, because we have one here that's been decorated. But what I will tell you is it's not as easy as if you didn't have to do that. If your team name is East Bay and you're able to split it, that's going to be much easier than having to go across the placket. But folks, you can do it, and you just have to work with your suppliers on how to do that. Let's also talk about mesh. You're going to have a lot of different weights of mesh. And you won't get detail on more open mesh. This in fact is a 100 denier mesh, and this is something that it's called a pro mesh in our line. But this looks great with tackle twill on it. Okay, both of them will hold up forever. This is more of a medium mesh. It's a 70 denier. It's called a trico mesh. You can put tackle twill on this garment, but honestly, the tackle twill is going to be a little bit heavy for it. You're going to run the risk of having some puckering. This right here is a fabric that for a while was used in baseball, but it now is used mainly just in basketball. And it's called a micro mesh, and it's about a 35 denier. Look, if you tried to put tackle twill on this garment, it's not even going to make it through the process. Okay. In today's market, it's all about performance apparel, so everything's going to be either this wicking mesh or just wicking polyester fabrics. Again, not fabrics that would be good for tackle twill garments. Now, one of the options when it comes to decorating those products is a product from Stahls called Sim Stitch. The reason being is that it gives you the look of having tackle twill, but it's simply vinyl and it looks great on those kind of garments. Now for the number one headache in the team and league business, the dreaded add-on. It's when the team goes out of town, they want to pick up a player, they add a kid, or you have late sign-ups in the league. They're going to come to you and want another uniform, and they're going to want that right away. I suggest that you deal with this with something called the baker's dozen. It's something that I tried years ago when I was on the decoration side, and it was one of the greatest tools in this market. They purchase an extra and you give them an extra. Basically 14 for the price of 13 on an original order of 12. I'm going to give you a scenario and we're going to handle it two different ways. Coach comes to you in December, says, hey, I've got a travel team, I want really nice uniforms, and our first game is the first weekend of March, so I'd like to have these by the middle of February. So they pick out really nice uniforms, give you a 50% down payment, you get everything in, you get it decorated, they come in the 15th of February to pick up. They love the uniforms, they pay you the balance, they walk out, They've got great uniforms. They've got them a couple weeks before their season starts. You've got the profit in your pocket. Everybody's happy. So they go out of town, their first tournament, and they just get their heads handed to them. So they come back and decide, look, we got to add another pitcher. So they go down, they pick up a pitcher. They come into you on Tuesday and say, hey, I need to add a kid. And by the way, we're going out of town again this weekend, so we need these uniforms by Thursday night. Folks, this happens all the time. Okay, so right now you've got to make a decision on who's going to be happy, because there's no way that both parties are going to be happy here. If you make the customer happy, there's no way you're going to be happy, because you're going to have to disrupt your entire week. And you remember when you stuck that profit in your pocket back in the middle of February, just reach down in there and pull some of that out and flush it, because it's gone. Regardless of how you handle this, you're going to lose money on this. Okay. But you have to make the customer happy. What's our best form of advertising? Happy customers. You make customers happy, they're going to tell some people. You make them unhappy, they're going to tell everybody they meet. Folks, you have to have happy customers. Okay, so let's handle this situation another way. Customer comes in mid-December, says, hey, I want real nice uniforms. I got 12 players, I got 3 coaches. And you say, look, I know how this business works. Somewhere down the road, you're going to add a kid. So let's take everything that gets decorated, okay? You don't necessarily need to do this for the pant and the sock and the belt, but everything that gets decorated, and you buy 1 extra one, and I'm going to give you 1 extra one. 14 for the price of 13 on original order of 12 kids as players, okay? So they go out of town, they get their butts handed to them, they come back, they want to add a kid, they go down and talk to him, he says, sure, I'd love to play. They say, here's your shirt, here's your hat. Go down to Martha's Embroidery Shop or Joe's Sporting Goods, whatever your business name is, and they will give you your pant, your sock, your belt, and they'll put your name and number on the back. But you don't have to turn your world upside down. You can charge them whatever you normally charge for that service, and then everybody's happy. Now, the number one question that always comes up when we talk about this is I always get somebody say, well, what size? Well, here's how I tell you how to handle that. I can make an adult medium garment work for a youth large kid if I have to, but I can't possibly make a youth large garment work for an adult medium kid. So you want to always go to the high side. Now, I'm not going to tell you that'll work in every situation, but look, if I can save you this headache 90% of the time, it's going to be one of the greatest tools that you've ever had in this market. I'll also get questions about if I've got a league that's got 50 teams, do I need to do 50 extra shirts and hats that they pay for, and I give them 50 extra shirts and hats? No, you just say to the league, look, how many late signups do you normally have? If they say 20 to 25, you say, look, if you'll buy 15 extra shirts and hats, I'll give you 15 extra shirts and hats. You add a kid, just make sure he goes on one of those 30 teams that we did the extra shirt and hat for. Look, the one they buy essentially pays for the one that you give them. And even if it's a little bit short of that, don't let that deter you from doing this. This is going to be a great tool to help you move on to the next order and the rest of your business. Otherwise, you're going to be tied up with these orders forever and ever doing onesies and twosies. These are just a few of the ideas on how to avoid some of the biggest headaches associated with the team and league business. I'm Doug Wilcoxson with Bomark Sportswear.